Hi everybody and welcome back to Moonflower Studio Creative. My name is Karen and today I thought we would paint these beautiful gourds we have around now for the fall. They're such beautiful colors and they look like a watercolor to me. So let's start painting it. I use my HB pencil here and I have rough Canson cold pressed paper. It's 11 by 7 and I listed the colors below for the gourd in the description. And what I'm doing now, I'm using a filbert brush. It has a little bit of a round tip to it and it's flat. And I just colored in with a wash, a wet wash, my cadmium yellow and my cadmium yellow deep or medium, and then I added some of my red brown in trying to create those little, stripes that go down the gourd. You can see the gourd has all those little warts on it, I call them, those bumps. And I'm going to go around a couple of them, but just do lightly around them. It doesn't have to be perfectly painted in. So we're going to go back to those later. I'm going to add a little bit of gouache to bring them out. We're going to use white gouache if you have it. Don't use the white paint that comes with your paint tubes. You want to use gouache or just something like that, or a white ink. And so here I am adding some more browns, burnt umber to underneath those little warts that are sticking out on there and those bumps, and I'm going into the stem and adding a light wash there, and I'm really just letting the paint just do its magic because watercolor is so much fun that way. And I like to think these as studies, but I end up loving them and using them. Maybe I'll use them as clip art or something like that in something else later on. I did not add any green to my palette here. I'm using my phthalo blue and I'm mixing it with my yellows. And if I want to tone it down, you're going to add a little bit of red. If you want to add it, make it a little darker, I'm adding my Paynes gray. So I'm just building up my colors from light to dark and bright to maybe a little bit more muted colors. So if you work gradually, and I sped up this video so it's a lot slower than you see me working here, but it's to give you the idea that you want to build up your colors. So I built up my gourd over there with light yellows and added some oranges and some browns. And I'm going to go back into it yet again and bring up the value and the chroma of my gourd using more reds and oranges. Here I'm adding the brown to the underside of the gourd to give it a more rounded shaded effect. So light and yellower and warmer colors will look closer to you, and darker bluer hues will look more recessed. So this is why I'm adding that brown, and there's probably a little bit of blue in there. This color I mixed here is a little bit more opaque than the more transparent colors I have there. I think that pyrene red is more of an opaque color than a transparent color. So it is, but I really like what's going on here. I'm painting over the bottom half here to get it to curve. This is all going to keep blending as long as it's wet. And I'm just going to keep working at it, and I'm going to come back and maybe with a Q-tip and pull out some of those little pimples or warts, whatever you want to call them. And we're just going to keep working it to have the effect that you want it to have. I did let things dry a little bit so I can add some more detail, and I added some shadows to the little bumps, and I'm adding some darks to define edges. And I'm going to go back with my white gouache, and I'm going to go over those warts and just a little bit watered down, just go gradually. And of course I'm always splashing my water onto my board, and I'm just going to pick it up. I am also going to add a shadow underneath the gourd to give it some more depth. There's my gouache, and I'm going to just dab it along a little bit of a wash, and then use some water on the edge of it to soften it. And you could see that I added dirty water and so dabbed it again with my cloth to just soften that edge of my shadow. You'll see in a second. Please stay till the end and watch how I paint my leaves. And the leaves will be painted on a hot pressed Arches watercolor paper. And I would love it if you like my channel to like and subscribe, because it helps me just to build my channel and bring you more videos. I would love to just do this. And I really appreciate your comments and your well wishes and your just being here and watching. I thank you so much for being here. I originally painted these for my Skillshare channel, but I decided to put these up here for you. Here I'm using my Lucas watercolor set, and I'm also using not a Canson, an Arches hot press paper here. So I just found some beautiful oak leaves that are in my yard, and it's so much fun to just go forage and find beautiful leaves and objects in the fall here, acorns and whatever you have in your area, and just really observe them and try to do a watercolor. These are so beautiful to do watercolors with because they look like a watercolor themselves. And I love oak trees. They're just beautiful, majestic trees to me. They're all over New England, and you can actually eat the acorns and make flour out of it if you wanted to. Here I just filled up my leaf with some water, and then I went and put some yellow in there. It's probably like a cadmium yellow medium, and then I added some of the greens that I have in my palette. And I'm just dabbing it in. I'm going to let the watercolor just mesh together, wet on wet. I used a reddish color I have there, and I added a little bit of green to it because green and red make a beautiful brown color, and you could see it pretty much matches the exact color of the leaf. So I'm going over the edges of the leaf, and then I'm just going to add some water right up to them to soften those edges, but also keep a sharp edge to the outside. And I'm a bit of a klutz, and you could see I went outside the line. I just dabbed it with my paper towel and wet it and dabbed it again before it got out of control. So mistakes happen, and to me, even as a professional, they happen all the time. So here I go. I'm just going to keep adding more water if it's drying, and go back in and add more of my color wetness. And we're just working, like I said, wet on wet. It's starting to dry. So when the middle part is still wet but not completely wet, it is still slightly damp, you'll get a nice vein quality there where it bleeds out a little bit, but it's going to stay close to your line work that you're making. Now I'm just dabbing in all of those little fungus spots that happen in the fall to these leaves, and I'm working pretty fast. Now I sped up this video so it's faster than I'm actually working. If you are enjoying my videos, I would love it if you would like and subscribe and hit that bell for new notifications when I upload new videos. So I keep playing with it. I let it dry a little bit, then I come back and I add more. I really love those little spots. I think they're pretty cool. I'm going to darken up some edges and just give it a little bit more of a punch. And when it's dry, you want to add more to the veins. And I'm using a very tiny little round paintbrush to do all that detail work. And you could see that it's not exactly like my leaf, but it's very close. And you know, you're the artist. Use your imagination. I did a little spray there, and if you don't want spray to get around, you can literally, put some paper towels or something around so you don't spray all over the board. But you can see this is working out really well, and the leaf is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you have fun painting with watercolors, and I hope you have fun watching me on my channel. I love to teach you, and I love to answer any questions and help you on your watercolor journey.